Hello friends, welcome back to Chrysalis Invictus Tarot. Today I have a love reading, but we're going to go a little bit more specific. We're looking at long distance relationships. So this may be something that's a little bit more prevalent right now because we are in COVID and varying states of lockdown. But I want to take a look at your long distance relationship and see what's going on, if there's any advice as to how to maybe infuse some new fresh energy, whatever advice there is out there for you. So you can see I have 3 different piles. I don't even think these are real rocks, so we'll just go with pink. There's blue, pink, and green. They're from my daughter's collection. All of mine are like stones that weren't very lovey. So anyway, let's just take a moment to ground together, taking a nice deep breath in through the nose and out through the nose, letting the shoulders relax down from the ears. We have some beautiful incense to clear the space, calling in your guides, my guides, any energies, entities, ancestors that wish to deliver messages to us today. Anything that is for our best good. And so making your selection, I will meet you at your pile. Pile number 1, welcome to your reading. So you chose this stone or pile 1, whatever brought you here, welcome. I hope you're doing well. So let's take a look at your long distance love situation. We have the 5 of coins. Okay. The Ace of coins. And the Queen of coins. Wow. Okay. So what I'm seeing here for you is a period of insecurity, a period of separation, a time of not really knowing. Maybe there's no contact or very little contact, and there's definitely not a lot of contact physically. So it could be a very long time since you've seen this person. I'm seeing that in the present energy, so I'm roughly looking at past, present, future, and I see in the past energy there's definitely this feeling of being disconnected. It's almost like the innocence of the connection wasn't protected by this separation. Like it was hard to know what the feelings were. Like vulnerability felt confusing because this feels like something that was cut off before it even started, or something that just like it was awkward timing to be separated. Things were left in kind of a weird way. But I see in the present that there's this seed, there's this new beginning that's happening that feels really, really stable. But because of the Queen of Coins here, I really feel like this is something that each one of you is doing separately. So I'm not really getting that there's much connection here at all. So I'm just going to go in and clarify with some pre-Raphaelite cards. And clarification for the 5 of coins, the past energies here. Okay, so this may have ended or split up at a period where one or either one of you, this is like someone was dating someone, feelings were expressed, or maybe there was a newer, fresher kind of breakup, but there was a third energy in the mix. So this could have been for you or for your person. And that's why the timing was bad. That's why this was like, it was an awkward timing. Yeah, okay, so, and then here it clearly indicates that there was a separation. So someone had to leave either you or your person had to leave, but this was necessary for the relationship. And I'm seeing the reflection here as a really important message. So maybe you see it there, the reflection in the water, that if it was the other person who left or cut off communication, it was necessary for the relationship, for the bigger picture. So that may be something that you didn't see, but whatever's happening with you and this other person, it's very mirroring. Like, you may experience times where like if you do connect, or if you see on their social media, they're talking about certain themes or certain things are coming up, and they're likely very similar to what's going on with you. So let's take a look. Let's break down the past energies now that we kind of understand what was going on in the past. Actually, I just want to pull one more for the past and see, what was your physical connection in the past? What is your physical past with this person? This is very earthy cards here. The Ten of Swords. Okay, so I don't really get the sense that there was any kind of physical connection between the two of you. So maybe you've never been together. Again, I'm drawn to the image of the person with someone else in the background, like the Three of Cups here, that maybe you weren't able to be together because one or both of you, either of you, was in a relationship already or in some sort of connection already. So I'm getting here more like you think about each other or have thought about each other in that way, but it hasn't really progress past that. There's also, with the Ten of Swords, suggestion of there being some history of trauma here. So there could be obstacles to overcome regarding the connection, or regarding the physical connection. The flame's out on the candle. I just feel like it ended before it started, is the way, but you're still connected. And you've got this Ace of Coins. So let's dig into that. Let's look at the Ace of Coins. The Six again. We have the Six of Wands. This is a victory. So whether you feel it or not, at the present time, there's a victory in the energy between the two of you. So this is also arriving, coming back home. So it could be that I see vulnerability returning. So it could be that there's more communication with the Six of Wands, that there's a return of some kind, and there's renewed hope in this connection. Okay, so I'm really getting here, just from the symbolism on the cards, that the feminine is the one that was, or that it was, it was the masculine that had a third party. It was the masculine that had someone, but in the present, I feel the feminine entertaining some different options. So I don't think there's been any promises made, even though we have this Ace of Pentacles, this new beginning. I feel like there's only just sort of the beginnings of something happening here. I'm gonna get one more card. Okay. So we have Aquarius here, and then that's the only major arcana. And then with the King of Wands, it could be Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries. This feels like someone returning with passion. I feel that your person wants you to know that they have not stopped thinking about you. So if there's been no communication, there's definitely that message, I have not stopped thinking about you. Let's take a look at the current energies physically. The 10 of Chalices. So it makes you really happy to think of each other. But again, I don't see a physical connection here. So I don't think that you've come together or that you're coming together in the present. But there's a lot of happiness at the thought of coming together, which is kind of a beautiful thing. And let's take a look at the future energies. So we're going to pull some more oracle cards and see if we can get some more messages once we've looked at the future energies. But for right now, we're just taking a look at the situation as a whole. So clarifying the Queen of Coins for the future energy. What messages do we have? Okay. Aww. So I do see a love offer coming in. It will likely start as messages or gestures or some sort of vague. Okay. Yeah, so the emotion will be vague, but the actions will be loud. So what I'm seeing here, we have the Queen of Coins with the King of Coins. So this is a meant to be connection, you guys. I really feel like this is a very strong connection. You know, this masculine here who is like passion is ignited, fire is ignited underneath him here, is then moving on to kind of bring this really sweet, you know, the cup is kind of like he's not looking, he's not wanting to like even make eye contact. And when I say he, it's because I'm reading, you know, like king, page, whatever, but take it however it fits for you. Actually, that might be a girl. Anyway, so the cup, the emotion, the love is very sweet and it's very subtle, but the actions are of a king. So like this is someone who is like setting things up, like be here at this time to do this thing, or like setting up just how you can even bridge the gap between your distance, because this is a long distance reading. This is figuring out the logistics is what I'm getting. I'm just gonna take a drink here. And pull the Chariot. Action, action, action. So there's fast movement in the future of this connection. So it's like there was this lingering time, this period of disconnect. But I really feel like if you haven't heard from this person, you're definitely going to hear from this person. Or if you are this person, maybe you're really feeling the draw to connect the stars in your future physical connection. This is cosmic physical connection. So if you haven't been together and you have all this like present like happiness and feelings of fulfillment and feelings of being like it's almost like you're fulfilled before you've even got there. And then this is why we have the stars show up twice. This is a very meant to be connection. It's really, really beautiful. Okay, so I don't feel like you guys need fresh energy in here, but let's get some oracle cards to see what advice there is for you. What is advice for my viewer in this long distance connection? So I think really what's the struggle in this connection is insecurity, whatever happened in the past, but I don't see that carried on into the present energy. Like it's just not there. It's like a wall almost where, you know, you have king energy coming for you. Forgiveness. Okay. So if there is anything lingering from the past, and I'm hearing not even from the past with this specific person, but from your past in general, it's time to let that go, to release. And you may want to release at just before the dark moon, I want to say. So rather than thinking of it as a grand release at the full moon, this is just before the new moon. We have a new moon coming up, but this is a timeless reading. Purification. Okay. This is this feels like, you know how the sunflowers, the field, like it turns toward the sun. This is turning toward this hope, toward the sun, which is the ultimate star, obviously, in our solar system. I never want to talk about solar systems here. I'm getting this feeling of like a fear. So while there's all this beautiful energy, I have this feeling of like, especially with the page, like sort of being very timid about emotions, I feel like this truth, it leaves your person feeling very vulnerable, and they're not comfortable with that at all. But there's a force behind them. Like the wind, there's just this, like they will come forward, but they're coming forward not because they don't feel something, but they're just afraid of vulnerability. They're afraid of sharing their emotions. The King of Wands with the King of Pentacles, they don't really like to give up control. But in your physical connection, you have the 10 of Pentacles and the Star, or sorry, the 10 of Cups and the Star. Like, there's so much attraction here. And I'm seeing that as the 10 of Cups as well, this community card. It just feels like being together will feel really great. So, and security. This is what you guys are working on separately. And that's what the overall theme of this. So maybe you're separate because of work. But it's sort of like as soon as all of this gets sorted, you just step into this relationship. Like the foundation is being built separately, and then it's just like a matter of putting. Okay, I don't know a lot about prefab houses, but I feel like one of you is building the foundation, the other is building the house, and then it's just a matter of putting the house on the foundation. If that makes sense. Okay, so let's see if there's any fresh energy, anything we can shed light on, anything to infuse this relationship. I don't really feel like there's any actions you have to do at this time. There's no real advice about actions here so far. Squirrel, look how beautiful this is. Spiritual maintenance, be your own caretaker. Exactly. There isn't really anything in the connection itself that has to be done. It's like both of you are building the relationship separately without even talking, really. But it feels natural. It feels cosmic, and it also feels natural. Like it feels like when you come together, it will feel like you just fit. So any of the insecurities or the feelings of like uncertainty that come from the past are sort of purified through the present, purified by the work that you do on yourself. And then when you, so like okay, so you know how you sit around and you're like, okay, especially with a long distance relationship, when we're together, we'll like do this. And then you think, well, maybe they're not into that. Maybe you don't know, like you recognize that you don't know as much about them, like because of the cosmic and the like almost primal nature of this relationship. Maybe you don't actually know a lot of things about them, but like, um, just rest assured that when you do come together, it will fit. It will feel natural. God, these cards are beautiful. Okay, abundance. Yes. You have security, abundance. You have the King and Queen of Pentacles. You two are going to be fruitful together. You have a lot of abundance coming in, and not just like physical material abundance, although that is there. It's like all of your dreams are going to come together and come true with this person. I know that sounds like really cheesy, but I mean, you have community and security side by side. You have like 10 of Pentacles, 10 of Cups. This is ultimate connection. Move with the flow of abundance around and through you. Yes. Okay, so with both of these cards, these are both things that you can work on in your own situation and in your own life. So with flow, I always do a meditation in all of my yoga classes. My information is in the description box below, where we practice passing flow from right hand to left hand around the circle. And it just gives you that feeling of like, whatever you're bringing in passing through your heart, and something goes out, and you never have to stop that flow. You can just stay in that flow, stay in that energy. I feel like I'm gonna leave it there because you guys have a really beautiful situation upcoming. It feels like the wait will feel longer than maybe it is, or it will. It's almost like because all of this happens while you're separate, it's like once you're together, all of that time apart will collapse, because you're going to realize that you've both been building the same future separately, but for each other and to be together. Which is, I can't even believe I'm saying these words out of my mouth. That's a pretty incredible relationship. So I'm going to leave you there and take care. Pile number 2, we've got this obviously fake pink stone. Let's take a look at your cards. So in the past, we have Judgment. Present is Innocence, or the Fool. Oh, and it's Jamino and Pamina. I might actually look in the book for that, because I'm not familiar with that story. And Judgment is Tannhauser and Elizabeth. And then in the future, 8 of Staves. Okay, so this is definitely a connection that has a new beginning. I feel like you either, in the past, you were, I'm just kind of giving you the lay of the land. So if you recognize this, you'll know it's your reading. Okay, so in the past, there's this sense of, this may be a relationship that's been on again, off again. For whatever reason, there is this like missed timing almost. Like you met at the wrong time. There were crossed wires. Like it's sort of the plot of a bad romantic movie in some ways, like just the number of times that you've like tried to come together, or you have come together and it hasn't worked. There's just been like, it's almost like it slips through your fingers. And that's kind of the past of this relationship. And so maybe it's because of like, that's why you have this long distance. because, someone moved away, or you met while you were traveling, but someone was going like one way and then the other was going another. Okay, the Empress. So there is a feeling of home and connection and nurturing and love that cannot be explained by... It's almost like that's what holds you together through all of these, I want to say attempts. It could be that you in the past have actually physically been together for periods of time, but something always kind of like leads you away. Or maybe you went to the same school, like university together, and then were separated when you moved on. Okay, wow. So there was a really strong intellectual connection here, but a tendency to think with the head and not with the heart. So a lot of the decisions that have created difficulties in the past, where or things that have brought you apart, have been largely head-based. So again, I am getting that feeling of like we were too young, so I chose my career over the relationship, and then and then that created some space, but then you just keep being drawn back to each other because of this feeling of like home and this I feel like you can really talk for hours, and you have this really strong bond in that way where you're just really interested in each other's thoughts, and you like to be around each other. Like, it feels really comfortable. This is a pairing where you could feel really comfortable just like being at home with each other. The other thing that I was getting is that I'm gonna pull another card. Okay, yeah, so in the past there were some issues maybe with jealousy or possessiveness, specifically like relating to knowing where you stood with each other. Like, it felt stable when you were together, but when you were apart, it's just like both of you are sturdy, stable people, but you just couldn't make that energy translate into the relationship. So that's what I'm getting for the past. Let's take a look at your physical connection in the past. So what physical or sexual energy you bring from the past through this connection. And I like to take a look at this because it gives me an idea of the health of the connection as well. So we have Two of Wands and Justice. Okay, so for those of you who have actually physically been together, I feel like this has opened new doors for you. I feel like, again, there's definitely this feeling of like being on the road or connecting through travel of some kind, or youth, where there was this newness to what you were doing together. We have Libra represented here. Yes, very feminine, and a very masculine. And so the physical connection feels like you're well matched. It doesn't feel like anyone, even in your like communications with each other, like in terms of sexting and things like that, no one is asking for anything someone doesn't want to give. You seem really well matched in that way. So when I move into the present energy, there's a new beginning. So there's a new fresh start, and there's an innocence that's been revived. So this could be that someone or both of you have been through many tower moments where your life has sort of broken down. It could very well be because of I am getting the sense of a passage of time. You know, maybe you were college sweethearts, and then one or both of you got married, and now you're looking at, you know, a next relationship that's not for all of you, but for some of you. And so there's this feeling of a couple of things. So in the present, I'm getting that your connection really gives you this feeling of like youth. It gives you this feeling of possibility, that you can start again, that or you're really feeling like this connection deserves another look. So maybe you've come into contact after a period of time. Maybe you thought this relationship was over, and so you've started it up again, but it's long distance. It could be over an ocean or a significant body of water. So, you know, I live in Canada, and I'm separated from the States by lakes. So it could be something like that. Okay, we have the Hanged Man. And the Two of Cups. Oh, okay. This love between the two of you revives you and pulls you out of ruts. So it's almost like one or both of you were in situations where it felt like you were, like the water was stagnant, or maybe this relationship became stagnant and it needed a period of separation in order to come back as what it is. But we have the beautiful Two of Cups here, and it looks like it's taken or will take, or you're currently in a situation that's taking a lot of courage to come back together. You know, with this Hanged Man, I feel like this relationship is having a new beginning, but you're having to really process the past. Like you're really having to, and thankfully you have a strong connection through communication. So hopefully you are able to talk it out between the two of you. So this could be things that happened with each other, or it could be things that happen outside. I can get something on that. Struggling to balance this love connection with work as well. That's kind of what's going on here. So for some of you, there's like working online and then dating online is not working out. It feels like too much, or there's too much work going on for one or both of you, and that's affecting the connection in the present. But there's underneath it all is this this draw for a new beginning. Let's take a look at your physical connection in the present. And do you feel like you guys have seen each other a lot more than our pile one? Nine of Wands. Okay. So there's definitely a torch being carried in the background. Definitely not seeing each other as much as you want to. Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, I'm getting, there's just a lot of longing in your connection here. So, It's almost like the two of you in your long distance relationship, it would be helpful if you not only like sexted and things like that, but talked about intimacy, like how you want to be intimate with each other. I also get this really strong sense that you want to make babies together. That's for some of you, or that there's some sort of like you want to grow something together, you want to nurture something together. In the future, we have a lot of fast-moving energy and transformation. So I'm just going to clarify that. Okay, so there could be some paperwork issues or some like some hoops to jump through or some complications in terms of how to bring yourselves together. And there's some mental maneuvering that has to happen in order for you to come together, I'm seeing. And again, I really feel like there's flying involved, or there's quite a bit of distance in this connection is what I'm feeling. But I don't think either of you expected to feel this way. It's almost like, oh, okay, okay, crap, now what do I do about this? But I do see you, there's fire underneath you to kind of, to come together. I feel like you also want to travel together. We have the Nine of Swords in your future physical energy. Okay, so there's some fantasies that you're wanting to act out. Two of Pentacles again. There's just so much to juggle here in this connection. There's a lot to juggle. There's a lot of moving parts. Let's see if we can get any advice about that. Purity. Success. Okay. So this connection is asking you to redefine what success is to you or how that's expressed. So for instance, is it successful to have only one area of your life thriving, or do you need more than that? And that's something that's personally defined. There's also this this feeling of like, I know it's hard right now. If you're watching this when it's not a pandemic, then maybe you can travel, but there's this sense that planning more trips together, exploring more things together in that way, that's going to get you through these periods of separation. And if you can't do that, how does one infuse a long distance relationship with the same feeling of travel? Yeah, it's just like taking each other on dates. Oh. You really feel so happy together. I feel like there's a bit of an opposite vibe here, where I guess I said that before, where it's like a really feminine and a really masculine. But there's something about dreams. It's almost like you can work with your dreams and going into places of nature or going to things that are where you feel awe and sharing that with each other. Video messages. But I really feel like there's water between you. Let's see how we can infuse this relationship with some fresh energy or any further advice. This does feel like a conundrum. There's so many different moving parts. It could be that one or both of you have to deal with like family, sorting out things like that. So we have tenderness, show compassion and forgive what needs to be forgiven. I think this tenderness is what I was talking about, that it wouldn't hurt to share over the phone or, you know, through messages or however you show it, to be vulnerable with each other, maybe to be silent with each other on the phone, or to like talk about how you would want to be intimate, like pillow talk, but through the phone. So not just like, how was your day, da 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 da, but like have those intimate moments, because I really feel like you're missing that. You're feeling very, it feels like there's a lot of practical talk and a lot of intellectual talk, which is really beautiful and really like stimulating, but what you're missing is opportunities to be in each other's energy. Spiritual maintenance, be your own caretaker. Okay, so in any long distance relationship, it's so important to not fixate on the relationship and to, you know, draw nurturing into yourself. And Raven, wise woman, a change is coming. Okay, thank you. Finally. Okay, so there is something in the works that is going to come in and that is going to help you solve some of these issues. So something that you cannot see, something that is beyond your control. And if you are, you know, a fan of having control over these situations, I know it's hard to just kind of like sit back and wait for that, but that's where you're working on yourself and you're working on the tenderness in this connection. I do feel like there are intimacy longings here that are just not being met. So even if you like talk about cuddling and bring each other to the couch and sit in silence, I know that may sound uncomfortable for some people, but that's really truly what we're longing for, is that level of intimacy. Let's see if we can get any other advice for you. Your long distance relationship. Good partnerships are made of equal amounts of positivity. Okay, so this is you know, again with the hyper masculine, hyper feminine dynamic, just making sure that you're both communicating your emotional needs and that each person is respecting that. I think that there is a tendency in this connection to fall into hopelessness because of all of the different moving parts and because of all of the things that you've been through. But I feel like trust. Be ready. The best is on its way. Yes. Be ready. The best is on its way. I feel like you need to hear that. I feel like you came here for reassurance, and hopefully you feel that. And then Lily of the Valley, happiness is found with your purpose. And this, I feel like, connects with that success card. Like, it says literally here, embracing happiness. Embracing happiness. You are allowed to prioritize a relationship in your life. You are allowed to say that you want this love in your life and to make that a priority. Okay, so that's what I have for you. I'm going to leave you there. If you want a personal reading, my information is in the description box below, or for any of my classes or events. And that's all I've got. Take care. Pile number 3, welcome to your reading. Let's take a look at what's going on in your long distance relationships. We have Sacrifice, Orpheus and Eurydice. Or Eurydice? Did I say Eurydice? 6 of Cups. And the Queen of Arrows. Okay. So I feel like this relationship, this long distance relationship comes up out of the void, comes up out of a period of transformation for both of you. And is really defined by it doesn't really have hard lines. I mean, this person came out of nowhere for you. And just kind of like surprised you. So there isn't really, for me here, a deep past in this long distance relationship. You know, some of the other piles, there was like a longer history, but I'm really feeling like this is a newer thing. So maybe you met online. There's a certain amount of distance. Yeah, I'm just getting like someone appearing out of nowhere. Okay. And it feels like it just feels like mutually there's a lot of darkness in your past. So what I'm getting here is more of an individual past. Like I think I'm getting your past, and I'm not really getting a past of this relationship itself. I don't think this relationship has a long past. I feel like your relationships in the past have been bound to a certain kind of pattern, or like a contractual kind of like rollout of like, this is your role, this is my role, this sort of like, this relationship doesn't really look like anything from the past, but both of you are bringing in a history of some tricky situations. Okay, there's a lot of like really beautiful, nurturing, home feeling energy in this connection. And that's something that really, I think, drew you to each other, that you feel like home to one another, and that there's this attraction to okay, I'm hearing there's an attraction to the scars. It's like you guys understand each other. You've both been through hell and back is what I'm hearing. Okay. Yeah, but there's this like moving in separate directions. So you met each other. It seems like you're moving in separate directions. I mean, obviously you're in long distance. So you were living one life on one sort of path, and they were living their life on a path. And then meeting each other has been kind of a shock, because now you're looking at, oh, hey, maybe I want to have a path together. And we have the Queen of Pentacles. It's funny because I was getting a lot of earth energy from the Empress here. So this is to take a look at your physical connection. There is a lot of attraction to the feminine fertility in this connection, and to the nurturing feminine energies between the two of you. And that is really what has almost stopped the masculine in his tracks when it comes to this connection, and made this like this redirection. But let's take a look at the present. So we have the Six of Cups, which is again, that feeling of familiarity there. There's this feeling of like, for me, the Six of Cups has an innocence to it. It could be that you have known each other for a long time or since childhood, or that you feel like you've known each other since childhood, or it feels like a past life connection, and that's starting to show itself in the present. So that's really the feeling of the present, is this really lovely Six of Cups energy, an emerging feeling of love and intimacy. And this is an intimacy that's really sweet. The Five of Wands. Okay, yeah, so there's complications here. There's a tangle. There's something to be untangled. Can I get more on that? Slow moving. Oh my gosh, how frustrating is this? A slow moving. Okay, I always think of this. I don't know if you've watched other videos where I've used this example, but I'm going to use it again. It's like when someone hands you a pile of chains, necklace chains, and you have to untangle them. But not only, this is like watching someone untangle that pile. It's not like untangling it yourself. It's like watching someone else untangle it. Why is someone else untangling it? I'm getting that it's divine timing. Yeah. Yeah. There's something, there's something that's just not, there's a piece that cannot be seen. There's a large emotional piece as well that is just not showing itself. And so without these emotions in the present, this is kind of playing coy, right? But like, what's being concealed is a much greater current of energy, and it's like not wanting to, it's like, you know, you could untangle those chains, but you don't want to hurt that person's feelings or something, and so you don't. It's like there's a lack of vulnerability here. But there's also something about, something about intuition, physically. Oh my God. Innocence and experience, literally side by side. So everything's happening and nothing is happening. What is this connection? Everything is happening and nothing is happening. It's like a dude alone with his own little snake. And then like the deepest, most intimate, like she's served up on a platter, the yummiest, like most connective experience two people can have together. That's happening simultaneously. So because this is a long distance relationship, I have to say that I feel like you guys are doing a really good job of connecting to each other's physicality without actually being together. I'm going to move on to the Queen of Arrows, Venus in your future. So you have, and I really feel that you have this to me feels like Venus. You have a divine feminine energy as a current throughout this that is calling the shots almost in your relationship. So it could be the feminine in your relationship is calling the shots, but it also feels like this is the interjection of the divine. that she's got a plan for this. Okay, so we have 10 of Swords. There's still some trials and some things to go through. And a period of rest that's needed. So many Swords. So there's some mental issues. I don't feel like this is between the two of you. The Sun came out reversed. Okay, I'm going to be straight with you. It feels like there's a period of time that is fairly dark for one or both of you. And this will end, but it is a time of introspection. The introspection begins in the present, so that may have already begun. Let me take a look at the physical connection, see what we can get, or the sexual, I say physical, but sexual connection, the Wands, 10 of Wands. So you have the 10 of Wands, 10 of Swords. So there's this, it feels like this is a place, this relationship is a place where these burdens, these anxieties, these pains are released. Like you almost exist in a space outside of those things. But those things are happening in your lives individually. And that is something that keeps, because you're doing it individually, you're not able to untangle each other's like clump of necklaces. So it's a slow process. You kind of have to watch each other do it almost because you're separate. I'm gonna take a look at, let's see if we can get some advice cards here. This was just to kind of like get a feel for the relationship, and keep in mind past energies can be very much affected by what's going on in the present. And with this mysterious, like she's not gonna let me clarify her. Like there's an energy at the center of this relationship that will not allow itself to be clarified. But I also feel like that is the feminine in the relationship. So we have wisdom, freedom, embracing, action. Okay, so a lot of the work that is being done here, or that is emotional. Purification. Yeah, there's a necessary, there's still some necessary evolutions of each of you individually. I do really feel like there's quite a bit of difficulty here for each of you separately. I feel like this freedom is kind of how you feel like when you're connecting with each other. It's that 6 of Cups. It's this serene embrace. But there's some emotional unrest. And the most amount of action that can happen is all emotional. Like, I just don't even know how else to put it. It's like, it's fire and water. I mean, you have that really transcendent physical or sexual connection in the present. And it continues to feel like like transcendent release in the future. It's almost like it's preparing you. So tell me about connection. I want to know more about. Okay, yeah, so that's what I was getting. That was the card that was missing. There's some tower moments yet to, or still to come before connection. And so that's why we can't really see beyond the like, we can't really see too far into the future with this connection. Queen of Swords, Seven of Wands. There's some triggers, some mental triggers, and some emotional things to go through before you can connect. It's almost like I don't have the same feeling with the other piles. There was like plan of action to come together, and I'm not really getting that here because you can't see beyond the tower falling. There's just too much yet to happen in this connection in order to be able to see too far beyond that. Okay, and we have polar bear, nurture. Oh, that's so beautiful. I do feel like that is a massive part of this relationship, is that you're really nurturing each other from afar. And again, with the little bear and everything, and with the Empress and the Six of Cups, it just feels like there's so much nurturing that's happening in this relationship, which is really beautiful. And it's helping each of you get through whatever's happening in your own separate lives. Allow any anxieties and worries to be gently released and offered up to be healed. So this could be where more open communication about emotions could be helpful. Embracing your own emotions, not just the emotions of others. I think with a steamy connection like that, I don't know, because this is not my experience, but it would be hard to like bring up those things. Maybe not. Oh, wow. Okay. Shadow work. There are no shadows without lights. So you are helping each other with your shadow work, exploring triggers from the past, exploring, I feel like maybe you guys have things in common, that you are with that devil, where you're both chained to the devil, but I don't feel like it's your relationship that's chained to the devil. I feel like it's that you individually experienced the devil in your own lives, and that's where you come together and you help each other work through these shadows, whether you know it or not. This may not be something that is like at all obvious. And honeybee, these cards are so beautiful, you guys. Divine feminine, you are being called on to rise. Okay, so whatever that means to you in terms of the divine feminine, I feel like, or if bees are significant to you, but it comes back to, again, this like nurturing energy, this Empress, this Six of Cups, this feeling of like home and safety. So whatever, if you do have expectations for coming together in this connection, I'm not really seeing a whole lot of that. I'm not really seeing I feel like the action is all like mental and emotional, rather than something physically tangible. Because of the tower, I can't see beyond the tower. But while you're in this space, just honor like how beautiful this connection is, and how much nurturing is happening here. And especially with the devil in history and with the shadow work, like that's indicating to me that this is definitely something that both of you need. Magnolia, you will find what you need in the wisdom of your heritage. Okay, wow. Did we have something? Offering it up to be healed. Where did I feel like... Never mind. Six of Cups. Duh. Okay. Six of Cups, where it feels like it's from your past, but also with the shadow work, calling on ancestors. You will find what you need in the wisdom of your heritage. That feels deep and profound. This will all be worthwhile. Oh my God. I'm getting like full body experiences of this reading, and I'm really glad that it's my last one because it's been a lot. And the sunflower, we had the sunflower here almost as the surrounding, that's the center, and we have the sunflower in purification as well. So the sunflower may be significant to you as well. Practice courage each day. Oh, that's beautiful. And it's the courage to open up to this divine feminine, to be soft, to be that nurturing person. And I really feel like this relationship is setting up a place for you to have that, for both of you to have that, which is really super beautiful. And I'm happy for you. This is lovely. I've had so many experiences in this reading, so I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for watching, and take care.